Welcome to the Relationship Reflections Podcast. I'm Rosado. This podcast came after a breakup. Yes, if there is a frown, you turn that upside down. And the best way to do that is to reflect on the lessons you have learned. So if you want to learn from someone else's journey on how to do relationships better, this podcast is for you. Enjoy Relationship Reflections by Rosado.
Relationship reflection. This morning I am feeling okay. Relationship reflection. I was having a conversation with someone last night, and I could see, feel, hear their protective layers. While I was listening to them, I saw a lot of myself. I started to think through dating and relationships and like their purpose or what is the fruit that comes out of them. And the thought I had was, I think different people always bring out a different side of you, a different you shows up, and you get to see a different side of that person show up, right? For example, I have this amazing friend, Katie. Every time I hang out with Katie, when I am with her, my energy level increases significantly. And it doesn't matter what bad is happening. I feel like we can talk it through. I know I'm going to leave, and it's just covered with joy. So there's a silly side of Lexi that comes out. I'm cracking so many more jokes. There's a relaxed side of me that comes out. There's a side of me that, like, I don't know, I'm just charged. I'm like, let's go when I'm around Katie, right? But then I have another friend, Olivia, who I love, and there's this sensitive side of me that comes out. She is a gentle spirit. She is a loving, loving, loving spirit. And I find myself being aware of the moments I'm cynical, or the moments where my heart has a little bit of bitterness or anger, because she is so graceful that she reveals something about myself. But then with her, I feel like I push her towards her dreams. I'm like, but you can go after it. But they're both very different. Both are still who I am, but they're different sides of who I am. So when I was reflecting yesterday, I was having a conversation with somebody, I saw a different side of them. But I was like, okay, like, let's push through what you're processing. And they were communicating how new and how different it is to be able to talk to somebody and process it through. That they have been taught to, like, have fear towards their emotions. And I was like, well, I love emotions. I view emotions as like little gems, little diamonds. And communicating, processing through, and asking questions to get to roots in emotions is like one of my talents. Or a gift of mine, or just something that I feel gifted at, something that it doesn't scare me to ask questions. I enjoy it very much and thrive on it. So this person and I were able to have a really healthy conversation, but I started to think through, in relationships, what side of you is revealed, right? Is showcased. But also, what are you learning about yourself as you look at the other party? When I looked at the other party, I was able to understand how much I appreciate emotion. Because since I was confronted with someone who is struggling with emotional vulnerability, I was like, oh, I love this space. And so it revealed that aspect of my personality to kind of scoot in and fill a need. And what's so cool, right, is this morning I woke up. I'm really trying to communicate to myself some positive things, because there's days I just go to bed and I'm really sad. I don't like that. I don't like that we have negative feelings sometimes, but I guess it makes the brighter moments brighter, or you become more appreciative of it. You get to have gratitude and awareness of it. But this morning I was just thinking, like, I'm really grateful that I can love people well. But it's funny because my negative mind space didn't feel that way 2 days prior. But it wasn't until this conversation happened with this person that I was able to see the gift that lives inside of me. And so now I'm going to go a little bit on a spiel that is probably going to be controversial and potentially people are going to disagree with me on. But I think dating allows you to see a different side of who you are, because different people unlock things in you. There are people I've dated who helped me pursue poetry. There's people I dated, there was someone I dated who, if it weren't for them, I don't think I would have started my business. They helped unlock something in me. And I know I've done the same for the people I've dated. I think that in the Christian culture, in the Christian construct, there's this pressure that you date the one person and that one person is the person you marry. But what happens is these areas in your life that are being unlocked, I get it, so this one person gets to help you unlock them and discover them. But we need friendships and relationships, like other people in our lives. And I guess it doesn't have to be romantic partners, but people in your life, they're still going to be unlocking different aspects of who you are. And maybe as I just get older and I mature, my perspective changes a little bit, but I don't think there's anything wrong with giving yourself time to date multiple people. I'm not saying to do it all at the same time. Trust me, it's energy consuming, and I can promise you I know all about that because I have dated multiple people at the same time, and then you feel like you're using a lot of time on emotional stuff and people, and it's a lot. It's stressful, and it does create some confusion because you start having comparison, all these other things, and like nothing good comes out of comparison. Let me repeat. Comparing people is a lose-lose situation. Just saying. Because there's always something better to compare with. I just think that there's a misconception we have in Christian culture. Again, I'm okay getting flack for this. That the most perfect, ideal way to be in one with somebody is to meet that person, only share a kiss with them, only hold their hand. I'm not saying that that's not an option. What I'm saying is when that option is unavailable, you don't have to say, okay, well, I missed the mark, so now I'm just not going to be able to be in a healthy, happy, fulfilled relationship. Like, no. I think the truth is, if you are then navigating through dating, then you get to learn more about who you are as an individual in your own identity. It's just not in the construct of doing it with somebody, like as a married partner or an exclusive partner. You get to just figure out who you are, build friendships, and if people will take you out on dates, go out on those dates. But you get to look and observe and reveal the characteristics you value about yourself and characteristics you value about another party. And see what your strengths are when they show up, and see what your triggers are and your challenges when they don't. I just think that we don't need to idolize this. I'm going to say it. We don't need to idolize this one way of doing relationships because we live in a fallen world, and not saying everybody. I think some people can meet this mark. That's fine. But I know I can't. And I think that instead of walking around in shame thinking like, oh, well, I already messed it up. Like, God's bigger than that. And you're growing as a person. And I actually think like that's the main point, is growing one with yourself and with God, and having confidence and clarity in faith and trust in walking in power, love, and a sound mind, having faith and trust in who He is, but also who He made you to be, because we are made in His image. Yeah. So that's about what the real journey is. Whether you're married or you're not married, you are still learning about yourself and your relationship with God. And so let's not idolize one way. If we miss the mark, then thinking, well, then I shouldn't try, or I don't know, just having shame about it. The realization I had yesterday was, wow, talking to somebody new, being a tad uncomfortable because it is new, it's not familiar. It revealed something new about myself. It revealed that I have a strength in this. I think for that other person, it revealed that there's a weakness in this category. But us navigating through a space that's new helped us to grow as individuals. And what if that is the blessing or part of the purpose of being in relationships with people? So those are my thoughts, my theory. I hope it resonates with you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Toodles.